I was always the one to stand up and say, hey, no, think about it. Were you lucky enough just to be born so-called normal?
And I think your journey is so beautiful, so unique, so inspiring. And it also, your love is beyond motherhood.
But with family group home, it was a bit different. You had 4 children in care. They were all ward to the state. And you could have your own 2 children there as well.
How old was this child?
Might be for a week or something.
Okay.
It was a baby
Oh.
and also their 2-year-old sibling.
I'm sure you have a lot of stories like that.
Yeah.
I mean, fostered over 100 kids. So they
Yeah.
would all, and they all came from different backgrounds, right? Some
Oh.
from trauma, some from disability, some of their own families disowning them. How did that feel?
You know, you have these children, and as you say, they're all from different circumstances.
What was it like to have your first 4 kids?
They needed to know that if they wanted a relationship with their own family, they could have that. By the time she left us, I thought this girl she'll never be able to have a family of her own.
Is he doing well?
He's doing well and he keeps in touch. Yeah. Yeah.
That
So
just shows that not every story has a happy ending. Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the EG Show. Today's podcast is super special, very heart touching. Brought me a lot of joy to talk to Barb. Barb is 68 years old. She's given all her life to fostering over 100 kids. And we all do everything. We all say all great things. We talk about giving a perfect life, being kind. She is a woman that's actually put that in action. Her story is unique, inspiring, and so heart touching. Get a box of tissue. It's going to make you cry like it did to me. I hope you enjoy today's podcast. Now, also note this episode was sponsored by Vayu Elements. We all want our house to smell nice. We all want the diffusers, the oils, and all of that. But then we also worry about how it's going to impact the health of our pets because of the chemicals and the additives they have in there. Vayu has this amazing diffuser that is pet safe, that is safe for the babies, no water, no heat, no chemicals, no additives. It's just pure natural herbs. It smells amazing. It looks great. Great for health, your pet's health, great for your baby's health. So go onto their website, check them out, and make your house beautiful with their diffusers. Go watch the show and enjoy. Let's welcome Barb on the show. Barb, welcome to the show.
thank you.
I'm really excited to have you. When I met you for the first time, you made me cry. You touched my heart. And I think viewers today need to listen to you. You can touch so many hearts and you can change so many lives by doing this. So, really happy to have you. Welcome to the EG Show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really pleased to be here.
Bob, we all have our own kids. We bring them up. We do everything best we can in our capacity. We want to give them the best education, give them love, give them attention. But you didn't just do that for your own kids, but also opened your house and heart to hundreds of other kids. Let's start with what inspired you to do that.
Well, we've got to go right back to actually before I was born. My mum and dad were newly married. They had their first baby and they went into hospital, had him, and then they were told after he was born that he had Down syndrome. And the hospital staff told them, put him in a home in St Nicholas's, which is just a home for children that aren't wanted. And go home, forget you ever had him, and have another baby. My mum is such a strong person, and she was like, no way, that's my baby. And so my brother was in a special needs nursery for 6 weeks. And mum just kept going in every day, and mum and dad, supported him until they finally brought him home. 18 months later, they had me. And as I was growing up as a little one, I thought that I was the older one than my brother. So I used to look after him. We'd go to the park, and as we know, there's always bullies and that around. And other kids, if they'd bully him or try and push him over or something, I was always the one to stand up and say, hey, no, think about it. Were you lucky enough just to be born so-called normal? I said, you don't have any disabilities. Why would you pick on someone who has a disability?
Kids do that a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of the start of me being there, looking after him, caring about him and that. And then the next hurdle was when I went to school at age 5. Mum tried to get my brother into school. Well, mainstream schools wouldn't accept my brother. And so it was really, really hard. Mum and Dad looked around because there were no schools then for any children with disabilities.
Okay.
I don't know what they expected was supposed to happen with these kids. But anyway, Mum and Dad ended up looking around, and they found other parents were in the same situation. And they all started up basically a school in someone's garage. And that's how that started. And then from that, they got a lease on land in Coburg for 99 years and had a school built.
Wow.
And that was absolutely fantastic for all these children. But with me, once I was at school and I was old enough, and I'm talking primary school, if I had a day off, I'd say, Mum, please, can I go to my brother's school? Can I go there? I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved going and working with these kids and having fun with them, and it was just amazing. And then as years went on, a second school was built because a lot of these kids now became teenagers.
And how old were you then?
I was probably just, starting secondary school, so probably around the 12 years of age or something. So I still used to go to my brother's school every chance that I got and help out and work with them. Mrs. Greening, who was the principal then, I just loved her and she loved me. And so I asked her if I could run a disco for the kids. So I was allowed to. So it was basically the first disco that they'd ever been to. And so it was brothers and sisters and cousins and whoever wanted to come along and enjoy. And it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, they really, really enjoyed it. And then the next thing that happened, a lot of the parents were getting older or at times were sick and had to go to hospital. And some of them didn't have other people who could look after their children. So they found a real need for somewhere for these kids to be able to go, just short term. So what they ended up doing was they bought a house very close to the school, only 2 streets away, and they set up basically what we'd now call a community residential unit. So it was a house where these children could go. And there were different people employed to look after them while they were there. But sometimes, for whatever reason, they didn't have anyone able to go in and look after them. So my mum went in. And, of course, the first thing I did was say, well, if you're going, can I come too? And I was an older teenager by this stage. And I loved it. So I worked with these kids and everything. I wanted to go on to school and do, like at university and, become a worker, and that. And my parents thought that wasn't a really good idea because my whole life had been based around my brother, and they felt that I really didn't know anything else, and they felt that it wasn't fair to me to do that. So I was very good at math and accounting, so I ended up going to university. Mind you, I was married at 18, and my husband had a major bike accident the week before we were married. So he ended up being off work for the first 12 months, recuperating. And so I took a gap year before going back to uni, and then went to university for 4 years and became an accountant. I worked as an accountant for a couple of years and then went, you know what, this is not me. It's not what I'm meant to do.
It didn't come naturally to you.
No,
Yeah.
it did. Look, I won't say I didn't enjoy it. I worked myself right up to be Victorian branch accountant for Scottish Mickle Life Assurance. So I was really going places, and I was the first female on management level. So, I mean, in that respect, it was a bit of a boost, and you know, I did enjoy that. But I think it was just my need to work with others, and you know.
So fair to say you got your generosity, your kindness from your mum.
Yeah,
You are her blood
absolutely.
and flesh.
Yes,
So,
yeah, for my family.
yeah.
Yeah.
And before we started this podcast, we were talking about what impacts more and what matters more. Is it the genes or is it your upbringing? And I think in your case, it's both. You
Yes.
got your mum's kindness,
Yes.
generosity, but you also saw her throughout your childhood, saw her doing the right thing, being so
Oh,
nice to these kids, building the school, and then having your brother. I think that really shaped your future as well, didn't it?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And I think your journey is so beautiful, so unique, so inspiring. And it also, your love is beyond motherhood. Just beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, so as I said, it was, for me then, I went back into working in disability, and I did that for a couple of years, and then we had our own daughter in December 1984, and I was still doing some work in disability, but I didn't want to keep doing that. I wanted to be at home with her. And then a friend told me about family group homes. And I'd never heard of them before. I'd heard of fostering,
Yeah.
which is just, you know, you might get one or two children at the max and, you know, have them. But with family group home, it was a bit different. You had 4 children in care. They were all wards of the state. And you could have your own 2 children there as well. And so that was really great. And as time went on, there was a lot of emergency placements that came in and out. You know, for example, we had an emergency placement when I got a phone call. I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, oh, who's this? And it was a really big boss. And she rang and she said, look, please, Mum, would you take on emergency placement? It
How old was this child?
might be for a week or something.
Okay.
It was a baby
Oh.
and also their 2-year-old sibling.
Okay.
They didn't understand English. They were from different
Yeah.
nationality.
Yeah.
Mum was in hospital at the time. From
Biological mum of those
biological mum from those kids,
Yeah.
from domestic abuse.
Okay.
She was in hospital, and Dad was arraigned. And so they had nobody to go to at that time. So we said yes, so they came to us. So it was just amazing. And it was so hard. All I could do was feed them, clothe them, give them love, give them cuddles,
Yeah.
talk to them, but they really didn't understand. But
Yeah.
I think, I don't think that mattered.
Yeah.
I think it was the connection of that they felt trust, they felt safe.
Yeah.
And
Like they say, love has no language.
yeah. And so there's lots of different things like this. But with that one, when I finally got the phone call and Mum was going in with the children, she was well enough, and she would be going into a placement, you know, for battered women and that, which had to be kept totally secret.
Yeah.
And so I had to drive them to a location.
The kids.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
kids to a location to meet up with Mum and the workers. But I was told that I had to not go directly to this location, that I had to go around different streets and turns and whatever to make sure that I wasn't being followed. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is like...
I'm sure you have a lot of stories like that.
Yeah.
I mean, fostered over 100 kids. So they would all, and they all came from different backgrounds, right? Some from trauma, some from disability, some of their own families disowning them. How did that feel?
Look, you know, you have these children, and as you say, they're all from different circumstances, and you have to read their stories, find out about them. You've got to build trust, you know, with them. Like for us, it's so sad when sometimes you hear different stories about why these children are with you, what abuse that they've been through or whatever. It's just absolutely, it just touches your heart.
Yeah, I can only imagine how
really does.
emotional that would be. And it takes a lot of strength to welcome these homes and give them that care and make them, like you said, make them trust you as well.
Yes.
Good on you, Bob. Good on you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it was, look, I've always said that to do anything like this, whether it was a family group home, which was back in my time, or whether it's fostering, to me, it's a way of life. You know, it's something that you do because you want to do it. These children become part of your family. You give them everything that you possibly can in comfort, you know, probably allowing them to do things that they may not have even had experience. Like
Normal childhood things.
things, yeah. Going out to a park, going on holidays, going to
Yeah.
the seaside, things like that they just would never have experienced.
Yeah.
And as I said, it takes a lot to build trust with children, and some of them you think that you haven't done it, you haven't managed, and that's really sad. And yet there's been situations where I've thought that, and then many years later, these kids have come back and said to me, "Oh, I am who I am because of you.
Wow.
You really inspired me." And I'm like, wow, I thought I hadn't
Yeah.
reached the mark.
And I think that's the most beautiful thing. You just did you.
Yeah. And that was just, it's just lovely to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I, like, even after I left the family group home and I worked in youth work, disability and that, again, so many different children or young adults at this stage who I met up with again years later. And again, the same thing. They all said, "You made a difference to my life." Yeah,
So-
and that's just amazing to hear that.
I'm sure it is. It's very heart touching and I think very rewarding as well to hear that. Let's go back in time.
Yeah.
So you could have two of your own.
Two
plus
of our own.
4 kids
Yes.
at any given time, at one
That's
time.
right. Yes.
What was it like to have your first 4 kids?
Oh, wow. Well, to start with, I suppose in one way it was really hard because
Yeah.
we really had to get to know them.
Yeah.
The younger ones more wanted just to be held and loved,
Yeah.
and things like that. The older ones that were going, you know, onto adolescence were like, "I don't need you. Who are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Built up walls, things like that. So I found that what I did was, again, my husband and I, we gave them space, but we also showed them that, you know, we cared about them. So little things by saying, "Well, would you like to paint your room? What colour would you like your room? Oh, would you like to decorate it?" So one of the girls, we did that, and her room was painted, and she got all new bed linen and decorations for her room and everything. And she just went, "Oh my God, I've never experienced anything in my life." And the thing was, she said to me, "This is the first time ever that I'm so proud to bring friends home from school."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good on you for giving them space where they could express themselves. Giving
yeah.
them a place where they could just be kids.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And they didn't have that luxury. How sad is that to hear?
Yeah.
I mean, we all think that's just normal, but it's not for a lot of kids out there.
No, unfortunately, it's not. And it's, yeah, some of these children did come from abuse and things like that. But there are other children that came in because their parents weren't capable of looking after them. Like they might have had a disability or something like that.
Or age.
And it wasn't because they didn't love them. It was because they just weren't able to cope.
But a lot of kids would not have understood that though, right?
No. And
Especially little ones.
yeah, exactly. And basically they had to give them up because they knew that. But they still wanted to be in their lives because they still loved them. And so I found over the years that I did so much of advocating for a lot of parents.
Okay.
At the same time as looking after their children.
Yeah.
You know,
In
I
what
would
sense?
advocate for them to have more time with their children, build up relationships, because yes, they may have stayed with us until they were 18, and we didn't know that all of them, or a lot of them were sort of still going to be in our lives and never leave, but they needed to know that if they wanted a relationship with their own family, they could have that, you know, and that was the experience with, you know, a few different children.
So
There
you
were
weren't
oth-
protective in a way, look, I am just their mum now, I'm going to look after
yeah.
them. You were open to them having a relationship with their own parents as well.
Absolutely.
How beautiful is that?
Absolutely. And, you know, and then there was the other side where one young girl, and she was with us, and every time her mother left the dad, she would ring and say, I need you, I need you. I believe what you used to say, you know, and all this, and we need you. I need you for the other children, you know, come and help me and everything else. And she used to get drawn into it, and I can understand. It was her mum reaching out saying, you know, oh, I love you, come help me, I believe you. And that was heartbreaking for me because I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And she would go and she would spend time, and then mum would go back to dad, and then boom, she would be forgotten again. You know, and this went on time and time again until finally she was old enough to realise for herself.
Yeah. It just breaks your heart to hear that.
Yeah.
Bob,
yeah.
how old was the youngest child you had?
He would have been 3.
3 years old?
Oh, well,
no, the youngest
well,
child you had.
youngest would be a baby that we had in short term.
How old?
Only a few months old. Yeah, only a few months old. As
But
I said,
also-
emergency placement.
Yeah. And oldest?
Sorry?
Oldest? The oldest child
Oldest
you had?
would have been coming in as teenagers, so
Okay.
around, you know, the 13,
Yeah.
14-year-olds,
Yeah.
which is really, really, really tough to get them to understand that we were there for them and
Gain the trust, like you said.
gain the trust. One boy came in and he hated all females, absolutely hated females. And I could understand when I heard his story
Yeah.
with his family why that was the case.
Okay.
And so it was really, really hard with him. He'd do everything to sort of like, I don't
What was
need
his story?
you.
What
I
happened
don't
with
want you. Sorry?
What happened to him?
Look, basically his mother, she really just wanted her own life and really didn't care and worry about, you know, her child. And then because she was divorced from the father, and at one stage she said, I can't handle this kid. So she sent him over to the father who had another family and all that, and then, or another wife at that stage, and then they had another daughter, and once they had a daughter,
It was about her.
he was sort of kicked to the side again, and everything like that, and
So he was neglected.
very
all his life.
neglected. I don't know exactly about the abuse, but I know he got very violent, you know, and he just couldn't handle both his mum and, unfortunately, at that time, his sister. And so when he came to live with us, he really didn't respect me. He didn't want, you know, he would say, I hate women. I don't want anything to do with you. So that was a really long journey, long perseverance. I remember one day he went out and he was sitting in the gutter in front of the house. So I went out and sat in the gutter as well. And he said, what are you doing? And I said, just sitting here. And he was like, why? And I said, well, you're here. I'll sit here. And I said, if you want to talk, you can talk to me. Otherwise, we can both just sit here. And in the end, he goes, why do you care? Why do you care about me? And I said, because I can. And I said, and I want to. I said, you're an intelligent young guy. I said, you've got everything going for you. You know, you're at this amazing school. He was at Melbourne High. He was on the rugby team. He was so good at rugby that they ended up playing the Victorian Rugby Schoolboys Association, and they had a trip to China and played over there. And it was amazing. By this stage, he knew that we cared and whatever. And we did so much to help raise the money for him to go to China. We put a lot of money in ourselves. And I went on, way back then, it was the Neil Mitchell show. And again, he interviewed me like this.
Wow.
And we sat and we talked all about this young man and his life and his journey and his aspirations and everything. And it was amazing. The people who donated and not only gave money, but the well wishes and for him and followed, you know, their game over in China and how it all went and everything. And it was just amazing, you know.
Yeah. Let's talk about him a bit more.
Yeah.
So he obviously went to a good school. He was very smart. They had the money to send him there.
Well, he didn't go there before he
Okay.
came into care.
Oh, okay.
He was obviously smart
Yeah.
and he got a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
And that's how
But he
he went
wasn't
there.
happy at heart, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still welcomed him. How beautiful of you, Barb, to do that, rather than going, well, I let him go. I'm not too happy. He doesn't feel comfortable. You didn't pick up the phone and call the department and said he's not going to be comfortable. He'll take him back.
Yeah.
And
No.
that would have been worse for him.
Yes.
So well done.
And that was the thing, that someone stuck there, and it was like, it doesn't matter what you do or what you say, I'm always going to be here. You know, and it wasn't just me, it was my husband too.
Yeah, I'm sure. It takes two in a pot to do that.
Takes two, and with myself, my husband always said, you know, I'd be the one that would be cuddling and worrying about, oh, you're going to ride a bike, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to do this or do that. And he was the one who was doing the encouraging of like, come on, you can do this.
Yeah.
And so between the two of us, it worked. You know, it really
and
worked.
who knew from first time looking after these 4 kids, you would be a mother to an entire community?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's just
No,
fantastic.
it's just amazing, like to touch other people's lives, but especially children.
Yeah.
To see their stories of where they go and what they achieve out of life is just amazing. Like, and it's from the simplest thing, like a young girl that we had in care with us who had what was called an attachment disorder, which meant that her parents, well, she actually only had her mother, who was a young teenager, who couldn't cope with her at all. So used to lock her in a cupboard when she was a baby, crying and that. Yep, as a little, you know, little tiny child. She wasn't given love and affection or anything like that. So she never learnt it. She never learnt to bond. So I didn't know anything about attachment disorder when they told me about this girl. And I had to go do courses to learn all about it. And I did a lot of courses over the years to learn different things. And she was really, really hard work. She used to play off between my husband and myself, saying different things and whatever. And by the time she left us, I thought, this girl she'll never be able to have a family of her own, because...
How long did she stay with you?
She was with us probably about 4 years.
Oh, wow. That's a very long time.
A very long time.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, my son was born once I was doing in the family group home, and that was 6 years after our daughter was born.
Yeah.
So during the time that this girl was there, I was pregnant.
Okay.
And she unfortunately became very hostile
Yeah.
towards me, and that she didn't cope at all. And unfortunately, she had to be moved elsewhere.
4 years later.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
still a very
you know.
long time she was with you for.
But the amazing thing was that years and years later, she turned up. She found us at our holiday where we used to go on holidays every year down to Anglesea because all the children we took there.
Wow.
For 6 weeks in the summer holidays.
So they
and then,
really became a part of your family, doing holidays with you.
Extended family,
Yeah.
my mum, my dad, my sister, you know.
Everyone knew them.
Her husband, you know.
Go on, what happened with her then?
Yeah. And she turned up down there and she found us down the beach and she's like, hey, you know. And I was like, oh my goodness. And she was there with her partner and she was like so happy to see us. And
Did she have her own kids?
at that stage she had one.
Okay.
One little one, a boy. And she was just like, wow, you don't know, you know, what you did for me. Like, I really took so much from living from you. And I'm like, really? I didn't think that was the case.
Yeah.
And she did. Anyway, she went on to have 7 children,
Whoa.
which I was at the birth of the next 6.
Oh my
all
God.
of them. And her second born eldest daughter, once she was, well, probably just over 1, we realised that there was something wrong. She had like jelly legs and it just wasn't right. And she'd been back and forth to the doctors and we'd been to the health centres trying to find out. Anyway, eventually through the hospital, they did all testing and she had muscular atrophy, which is a bit different to dystrophy. But basically, so at age 2, she was in an electric wheelchair. And she was the most gorgeous, loving little thing. I used to say to her, oh, you're Nanny's little girl, and she'd sit on my knee, and she was just
How
gorgeous.
beautiful.
We were told that her life expectancy would only be most likely to about age 4 or 5. And, you know, as her mother and father, to have to deal with that was just heartbreaking. She went on to make it to the age of 16.
No.
It was, it was just amazing. I mean, during that time, she'd been through many operations and...
Would have been so hard for mom and dad.
Oh, absolutely, you know, and and the thing was that the week, or only days, I think it was 4 days before she died, my daughter gave birth to her twins, her first twins. So it was, on one side we were, you know,
Happy
and
heartbroken on the other side.
and on the other side heartbroken. It was really really hard time. And
I can't imagine how many stories like that you have. You've dealt with so many kids.
I have so many stories, and like all these ones that are still in like our lives, like it's not only them, it's now their partners, their children, all their children call us grandma and grandpa because
how beautiful is
a lot of them don't have
that?
any other grandparents. You know, we're for them.
Yeah.
Bob,
that's just so heart-touching. I'm still trying to... it gives me goosebumps. Your story, your journey is so beautiful. You're a true example of what a successful life is. We keep measuring success with money, with fame, all these parameters. But a fulfilling, happy, successful life is you sitting right in front. I'm so happy to be sitting across the table from you, meeting you in person and getting to know your story is beautiful. It's just very heart-touching.
Thank you.
So coming back to stories,
Yes.
some of the kids that you fostered have done really well for themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
They are thriving in their careers, thriving in their family life. How does that feel?
Oh, look, it's just amazing. As I said, each and every one is different, and some achievements, like the girl that I was saying who had 7 children, that's an amazing achievement that she actually found how to love. another one of our boys, he started off working down here in Melbourne, just in a steel place called Total Steel, and he just worked his way up.
Yes.
And he was very bright. He was a great personality, great talker, and in the end, now he's the manager for Total Stools in the Northern Territory and Queensland.
Wow.
Travels overseas. It's just amazing,
Yeah.
what he was able to achieve. And he's got a wife and he's got his 4 kids. He's got family life. That's what he values for him. As you said before, yes, he's got a good job and yes, he probably earns really good money, but it's his family, coming home to his family and having barbecues and cooking for his family. He loves doing that. And, being involved in their sports and activities. And that just shows me that, what we gave to him, he's able to then, give to his kids.
Yeah. Fair to say that's your biggest reward, seeing them happy, doing well in their lives?
Absolutely. That's the biggest reward. And even some of the kids, oh my goodness, like the different emergency placements I've had where kids have come in and they've taken a machete to the local milk bar and things like that, the police station really got to know me quite well. With
So you had kids like that?
Yes,
as
I
well?
had.
Oh my
I
God,
had kids
wow.
like that come in, and just different things. And yes, they didn't stay with us for a long time because it was very hard once they were at that stage.
Yeah.
But years down the track, again, some of these kids have turned up and go, "Oh wow, thank you so much," and I'm like,
Wow.
I really didn't think I did much,
Yeah.
They might have only been there for a short stay, but they saw something different, And some of the other rewards are like one young boy who lived with us, he was living with his grandmother. His mum had mental health issues, so his grandmother looked after him. But he had a father who they wouldn't allow him to have anything to do with him. And I met the father and everything. So I did so much work advocating for the father to the grandmother, saying really, he should be in his son's life. Yeah. And in the end, it worked out so well that his son went to live with him. And that was a really, really happy experience. Whereas other times children have gone back to parents that really they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
2 boys went back to a mum who'd been in and out of jail. Her whole family, all her brothers and that were in jail and whatever. 2 boys that had in care. They were very different. One was very emotional, and when it came up that they were going to leave and go back to mum, he just cried and said, "I want to stay with you." The other boy was just like, "Yeah, good, I'm out of here, I'm going to my mum." And as I said, I knew it wouldn't work because at that stage, mum was a person who her life depended on what partner she had. And at that time, yes, she had a great partner and he was really good in the boys' lives. But I knew that eventually when he went, that wouldn't be the case. So what's ended up happening, I still know these 2 boys. One's in jail, which is the one I said all he wanted to do was go back to mum. And the other one got away from it all and made a life of his own and has got a family and everything else.
And is he doing well?
He's doing well and he keeps in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just shows that not every story has a happy ending.
No.
I'm sure there would have been a lot of times when you were disappointed, heartbroken.
That was probably one of my biggest heartbreaks is when they were going, and it happened suddenly, and it was just before Christmas. And not only myself, all the other kids, my husband, everyone we were really devastated, you know, because
Yeah.
we knew deep down that it wasn't going to work. And it was so hard, you know, to think that that was the case. But
horrible.
there's nothing that you can do about that. You can,
But you're obviously so emotionally invested in these kids.
yeah.
And then they end up being in jail or not being in a good place. Just would break your heart. But what's the
Absolutely.
shortest period of time someone stayed with you?
Probably emergency placements, probably a week.
Okay. And longest?
Oh, longest would have been, well, yeah, the whole time that we run the family group home, so 14 years.
14 years. You had one child.
Yeah, one child who was there 14 years. Other ones that were there probably, you know, say 6 years. So there was all different lengths of times depending on, because what happened was supposedly when they reached the age of 18, they were no longer awarded a state.
Yeah.
And so
Which means no more funding for them. Is that what it means?
that's right. And so,
Yeah.
you know, they can't live in a family group home. I've got to take other children in.
Yeah.
And this happened, well, I fought this because, you know, most of them were still doing year 12. And what an accomplishment that they've actually, you know, picked up and gone back to school and got themselves to a stage where they could do year 12.
And a lot of them would not have been able to finish year 12 by
That-
18, right?
That's
still in school.
exactly right.
Yeah.
They were still in school. There
18
was
is young.
still so much happening. And look, as we said, with your own children, we're not going to boot them out at age 18. So anyway, I got special permission. Yeah, and I did. I got extensions on their wardship, and they stayed.
Wow.
Until they were, you know, 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they went out on their own, we found accommodation for them, like
Yeah.
went around and
Yeah.
helped them find a unit and then
Yeah.
helped them with funding and, you know, food and whatever else they
Yeah.
needed. And all of them were the same. If they weren't well or
Yeah.
they were upset or what, they knew that they could just come home.
Wow.
Yeah. and
They had a
always-
place.
Yeah, had a place.
Yeah.
And they
and they
all
still have a place.
and they all still do now.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful. Yeah.
Bob, if there's anyone listening to us today thinking fostering sounds amazing, the story
Yes.
is beautiful, but I don't have time for it, I don't have enough to give, I don't have enough love to give, or I'll be too attached when they leave, what's one message you want to give to them?
You might think that it's too hard, and yes, sometimes when they leave, it can be heartbreaking, but I honestly, the ones that you can actually give love to and they have trust and compassion and understanding, oh my goodness, it's just so worthwhile. There's nothing better to fill your own heart. It's amazing. To give love and receive love is one of the best things in the world.
And I'm sure they teach you a lot as well, these kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because we always think as adults we want to teach children, but since I've had my own daughter, I learn so much from her on daily basis. Number one, how to be always happy, because they're always happy. I mean, I know in your case it would have been a little different because they came from not so strong background in terms of love and care, but you do learn a lot from them, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like, you know, yeah.
And they all need love at the end. That's all
Yeah.
they need. That's
And
all they're
they-
craving
they-
for.
They do. And also just for them to see how supposedly a normal family, but how a happy, well-balanced family works, and to be part of that, you know, and we made things special, like at Christmas time, it was the same, they all got the same amount.
Presents,
Like it wasn't that our children got this and they just got that.
Talking about that, you had your own two kids.
Yes, yes.
How did you balance them not feeling neglected or getting jealous of
Okay.
you giving so much love to other kids that are not their actual siblings?
Well, they didn't realise that they
Okay.
weren't their siblings.
Okay.
Our daughter was only just over 1 when we went into the family group home.
Yeah.
And our son was born into it 6 years later.
Yeah.
So for them, every child that was their brother or sister.
So it's just normal.
It was normal.
Yeah.
It was. I remember our daughter, when some of the other kids might bring home a friend from school, and she'd go, "Hi, you my new sister?" And I said, "No, it's just their friend coming to visit." Oh, and so she'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just grew up with it, like, and I mean, we're talking all different nationalities.
Yeah.
Different religions,
Yeah.
all different things that you had to take into account.
Yeah.
And all the kids just were kids together.
And
that
I'm sure,
was it.
yeah, your kids would have had, they definitely had, your own kids, they definitely had a very different upbringing.
Oh, very.
And I think they would have also learned a lot. That would have shaped their personality.
Absolutely. They're both amazing.
Yeah.
They would just do anything for anybody.
And that comes from, as we said, generations.
Yeah.
Your mum did that, you did that,
That's
and
right.
I'm not
Yeah.
surprised for them to
Yeah.
be like that.
Like my son, I mean, how many friends that he's helped and they can't afford, they're on a pension or something and they can't afford to go somewhere or do something and that. And he'll go, "It's fine, I'll just pay for you, I'll pay for it, don't worry."
Yeah.
Things like that. But just also physically helping out,
Yeah.
doing stuff for other people. Our daughter and her husband, they're very lucky to be quite well off now, but they've worked really, really hard to build
Yeah.
up their businesses.
I'm sure.
But when they go home to India, they've taught their children that you must give back,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
So when they go home, they buy lots of different things. They go round. I remember the first time they bought things like shawls and shoes and buckets and
Yeah.
all sorts of
Yeah.
things that people that were living, in little communities that had nothing.
Helping them out.
And they would go, and that's what they taught their children, that in life, the best thing, the biggest thing you can ever do, you always must give back. Yeah, yeah. And
Just for viewers to understand, so your daughter is married to a guy from India.
Yes,
Indian,
that's exactly right.
Indian man, and
Yes.
that's why they went to India, and that's why they call it home.
yes,
Bob, I want to ask, at 68, are you proud of the life you've lived?
yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
And as you should be.
My husband always said to me, when we first were married and we talked about that we'd eventually have children because we had 10 years off before we had our first. And he always said, "You said you wanted 6 kids." And he said, "Well, you outdid yourself, didn't you?"
You definitely did. Bob, I think as I said before as well, your life story is what should be known as a success story, because the life you've lived is very unique, very different to anyone I've ever met or known before. And I think that's a true meaning of living a complete life. I want to say thank you from all the kids that you've fostered for giving them what you did, for opening your heart up, for opening your arms and giving them so much love unconditionally. What's one message you want to give to all the kids that you fostered?
Oh, to all the kids that we fostered, we love you and we'll always be there for you no matter what.
Yeah, that's very touching. Thank you, Bob. It was amazing having you. It was great talking to you. I again cried. And you're a beautiful soul, and this world needs more people like you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you.
Whew, that was our podcast with Bob. Bob has touched a place in my heart that I cannot explain in words. Her beauty is not just on the outside, but so much on the inside. The amount of love and generosity she has offered to these kids, I don't know anyone else that can do that. She is a real superhero. Her story, her life has just been nothing short of success. If you know anyone like that has lived a similar life or has a lot to offer, please tell me about those people. I would love to know more. Leave a comment so we can get in touch with them. If you've enjoyed today's show, please subscribe to our channel. I can't wait to bring more people like Barb onto the podcast. Until I see you next time, keep being kind, keep spreading love, and look after yourself.